Hello everyone, this is Dave here with some exciting news. That is, our 500th episode is on sale now. Next year, Saturday, April 26th, we're going to do a huge show live at the Capitol Theatre, and I'm amazed to say that in a few short days, we're already at almost 50% capacity. Whoa! People have told us they're coming in from interstate, even from overseas, to come to the show, which is so exciting. We won't let you down. We're going to put on a great 90-minute show with lots of special guests from across the history of the podcast. It's going to be awesome. And you can get tickets right now at dogoonpod.com. That's Saturday, April 26th in Melbourne for the 500th episode.
Ryan Reynolds here for Mint Mobile. You know, one of the perks about having 4 kids that you know about is actually getting a direct line to the big man up north. And this year, he wants you to know the best gift that you can give someone is the gift of Mint Mobile's unlimited wireless for $15 a month. Now, you don't even need to wrap it. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited. See mintmobile.com for details.
Picture this, you're halfway through a DIY car fix, tools scattered everywhere, and boom, you realise you're missing a part. It's okay, because you know whatever it is, it's on eBay. They've got everything, brakes, headlights, cold air intakes, whatever you need. And it's guaranteed to fit, which means no more crossing your fingers and hoping you ordered the right thing. All the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. eBay, things people love.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Do Go On. My name is Dave Warnocky, and as always, I'm here with Jess Perkins and Matt Stewart.
Hello. So good to be here, so good to be alive. What time of the year is it now?
That time of year where I wish I was never born.
And joining us this week, it's a very special guest. And hello to our old friend, Seren Jaimana.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Hi, Seren.
Actually, Matt, to answer your actual question, it's Christmas Day.
Is it Christmas Day? It's Christmas Day.
You there, boy.
This episode is coming out on Christmas Day 2024, baby.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
So there probably will be some people listening, and I hope you're having a beautiful time. I
mean, people will listen on Christmas Day or other days.
No, I was gonna say, the majority of people are probably listening afterwards. And I'm not saying you're sad if you're listening to it today.
No, that's fine. You just don't have any friends or family.
I think it's actually really sick.
I think it's nice.
I reckon it's the coolest thing I've heard.
Maybe you got a long drive to visit family and friends.
Yeah, maybe you're heading to Saskatchewan.
Yeah. Maybe you are heading to Saskatchewan.
For example.
Yeah, for example. You might be coming from Quebec.
Yep.
And you might be heading over to Saskatchewan.
Yeah, exactly.
So you might even be playing us on half speed.
That's right.
To make sure you've got enough.
Yeah.
And I say Merry
that's
Christmas
really cool.
to you, and I'd say bless you.
Seren, thanks for spending your Christmas Day with us, because we're obviously recording this live.
It's a pleasure to be in this car with you between Quebec and Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
Hey, pass the turkey.
Do we have loose turkey?
We got loose turkey.
Sorry, can you pass the bag of turkey? It's a plastic bag full.
How else would you describe turkey? Is it not always loose?
Yeah, but like in a car, it would be weird to hand over either an entire bird or like a leg or something.
Also, it depends how you cook it. Sometimes.
Well, I'm driving, so I need a leg. I can't use a knife and fork right now.
Well, Seren, you're imagining one of those Thanksgiving, those videos where people chuck them in oil and it causes a giant house fire that we're doing in the back of the car.
I plugged in an air fryer in the back.
They're quite convenient. You can take them anywhere. Really.
It's a mini one, but so I'm just doing little tater tots for now.
bit by bit.
Yeah.
Seren, I asked you to join us because you're about to do a big tour. Is that true?
Yes, that's correct. 2 cities so far.
Whoa.
Holy shit.
But more to come.
Quebec and Saskatchewan?
Yeah, Adelaide. Fringe. I'll be there at the Rhino Room for the last week of the Adelaide Fringe, and then Melbourne Comedy Festival the whole month.
So exciting.
Huge.
And you're at the town hall, which is
Melbourne Town Hall.
It's basically the MCG of the comedy festival.
It is. They reserve it for all the best acts, and then until those acts decide to go to independent venues, and then the little fella.
That's right. I am doing Spleen this year. An independent venue. It's going to be great. But Dave and I are also going to be in Adelaide.
Yeah, the Rhino Room.
We're all at the Rhino Room.
Yeah, all at the Rhino.
It's the best place.
Yeah.
It's so
So
fun.
good.
If you're at Adelaide Fringe, it's the only place you really need to go to.
Yes, and some people who are listening to this will have come to our show earlier this year, man. Dry.
At the Rhino Room.
Yeah, and they would remember that I was, quite entertaining,
Yeah, that's right.
and they should come.
And those ideas that we started there are now, they've blossomed
They've
into our
blossomed,
shows.
or they've been thrown in the bin.
Yeah, a lot of it's in the bin. to be honest.
If there's a bit you hated, don't worry, it probably won't make it
Yeah.
in.
Your
killed
hate
it.
for it actually made me hate
Yeah,
it.
that's how this works.
But that bit you liked, hey, I've dragged that out to 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah. Hey, can I explain how this show works?
I would love it if you did.
So, one of the three of us, and sometimes a guest, goes away, researches a topic, usually suggested by one of our wonderful listeners. They bring it back to the group, they tell us all about it, and we always get on to the topic with a question. Matt, it is your turn. Have you got a question for us to get us on the
I
topic?
do have a question. I also already told Seren the topic, so this is just to Jess and Dave.
Okay.
The question is, which country officially changed its name from Ceylon in 1972?
Do you know, Jess?
I was answering a message. So, Dave, you go first.
Is it Sri Lanka?
Yes, it is Sri Lanka. What would your guess have been, having
Sri
not heard the
Lanka,
question?
I think so. Yeah, that would have been my guess.
Well, yeah, you would have been correct.
Oh.
Sri Lanka, that's right. This topic is set in Sri Lanka.
Wow. I was like, we're doing the whole history of Sri Lanka as a country. That's amazing.
And I invited Seren on because he has met Sri Lankan cricketers, which I think gives him a pretty good...
Are we talking Kangaskara?
Kangaskara.
Is that right? Kangaskara. Well, how do I say that guy's name?
No, Kangaskara was close. I've met... Who have I met?
Jai Wardner.
I've met Aravinda De Silva,
Oh, yeah.
Asanka Gurusinghe, and that's about it.
That's pretty good.
But that's pretty good. Oh, and also Rashan Mahanama.
We're actually...
They're all from the one team, the 96 World
Cup. I
team.
mean, if you're going to pick a team...
So that's why I'm here. in case
Ranatunga?
you're wondering.
Oh, yeah, run it.
Haven't met him.
Who was the captain of that
That'd
team,
be
was he?
Chaminda Vas is my favourite.
Oh, great.
Love
Great,
Chaminda.
yeah.
It's an iconic team. I
Yeah.
think all these names, people are feeling the nostalgia
Yeah.
on their Christmas afternoon.
But yeah, we're talking about Sri Lankan sport, which is why I've got the great Sri Lankan sport expert, Seren Jayamana, in. But no, we're not talking about cricket. We're talking about another sport, which I'll get into soon. But first, this topic was suggested by 4 different people. Morgan Clark from Texas, Shannon Godelli from Kitchener in Ontario, Canada, which I believe, I have no idea.
on the
but I
way to
believe it's on the way to Saskatchewan. Also, Abhishek from Hyderabad in India, and Dons Ronald from Sydney. Dons is such a good first
It's
name.
so
I don't know
good.
why I like it so much.
Every time Don's Ronald comes up, I'm like, this is the best name I've ever heard in my life.
Dons Ronald.
Yeah.
Don on its own is a good name.
Yeah.
But he's like pluralized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just take it to the next
I know
level.
a baby named Don.
Whoa.
Really?
Isn't that crazy?
That is, yeah.
I think he's coming up to 1, and his name is Don.
Is it just Don?
Yes.
Not short for...
Not sure. It's just Don.
baby shower. Asking for a favour.
Don. Incredible.
Don is
What's his
fantastic.
surname? No, you can't. You can't do
I won't completely dox
And
him.
address.
that. Doc's Don.
All right, so this story, I'm taking it back actually to a German guy, as all great Sri Lankan sporting stories
Yeah.
begin. This is 1981, and the retired professional table tennis player Dietmar Doring, which is a pretty good name in itself,
Oh, wow.
just graduated from university in his native Germany, and he was waiting to get a gig as a business lecturer, and in the meantime, he decided to head to Sri Lanka for a holiday. Andrew... I've made Andrew sound more complicated than it is.
I think you've made it sound fancier, which all Andrews would appreciate.
Andrew.
Yeah.
I like
How
it.
does Andre Rieu come into this?
And
That was closer to a famous Christmas performer.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
He probably has a fresh Christmas album out now.
A few people have got the Andre Rieu on at the moment, I'm
Yeah, I
sure.
reckon.
I'm fingers crossed that I'm going to go home and unwrap it from the stocking, the DVD.
A fresh rue.
I can't wait.
Andrew Fiozzi. Luckily, I'm only going to be quoting his surname from now on. The easy one. Fiozzi. Andrew Fiozzi, writing for Mel magazine, which is strange. It's like a man magazine. It's about man things. They write about sex and stuff like that.
Man things.
Yeah, that's what it says in its description.
Was it just founded by a guy called Mel?
I guess so.
Mel's magazine.
But this is the best English, at least, rundown of this story that I could find. Other things quote this. Writing for Mel magazine.
There have been times the best resource I've had. This is recently. And I can't remember what report it was, but the best resource I had was an article from Playboy. So
there you go.
No, sometimes
their articles are awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
If you skip through that filth, yuck, 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 yuck. Oh, story. Ooh.
And they're really well written.
Yeah, really well written.
Oh, crossword.
And it's possible that there's better sources out there, but because this story is German and Sri Lankan, maybe it's just not that many in English. Anyway, Fiorzi, writing for Mel magazine, writes, when he arrived, this is what we're talking about, Dietmar Doring,
who's a retired
table tennis player.
He's already lived such a life.
Yeah, that's right.
Incredible.
King of Pong.
What age do you retire from table tennis? Because I feel like you can keep going
Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
for a long time.
Hand-eye coordination.
Whoa. Also, brain-tongue coordination is quite important.
No.
So I guess whatever age Matt is.
Yeah, I retired this morning.
Someone comes over and just grabs the bat out of your hand and says, it's over.
It's done.
That's
no
enough.
more batting for
That's
you.
enough.
You pinged your last Pong.
Do you think at the end of your table tennis career, you're like, I could never look at another table again?
Any
Just eating on the floor.
Any service, you just like, oh yeah.
Got a door, you got a gym, you got a table, you got a...
Man, at this dining table, I'd hit cross court.
Reading the grain of the time.
Really interesting people. Table tennis. This table, I'd hit cross court. Okay.
Sorry, Uncle Kevin, I'm just asking you to pass the piece.
Doesn't table tennis ping pong really feel like a Dave Warnocky sport?
It does.
I actually love playing it.
Of course you do.
I love it.
Of course you do.
And they're real athletes.
Actually, retire at 25.
Because it's so brutal. On all the joints. Several knee constructions later. I'm back. I'm off the court. I'm off the court for good.
Okay, so anyway, back to Fiorzi. When he arrived in Sri Lanka, his taxi driver asked if they could stop to pick up some clothes at his home. That's why you're your taxi driver.
Sure, but...
Like, okay.
Remember the time we got a taxi in Dublin and the guy took us to where his wife was born?
Yeah, a full detour down a side street to be like, my wife was born in that tenement building. Okay.
And we just landed after 24 plus hours in the air.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, are we on the clock here, or is this a flat fee?
We were on the clock.
From the airport.
So
I enjoyed it.
This doesn't surprise me too much. It's absurd, but
But this was Dublin.
yeah,
So that's like their big city, right?
yeah.
You expect that might happen in like a quaint town in Ireland, but that's in
Look at this lovely building
Yeah,
here.
true, yeah,
Man's
yeah.
gone out of his way across town to show us where his wife... Not even where he was born, it was his wife.
It wasn't quite cross town, but it was definitely a detour.
A detour side street that was a dead end. I remember we had to do a full 3-point turn at the end. It was like,
It was like an 8-point turn,
we didn't
yeah.
have to go past that building.
Maybe he was showing you how much of a miracle it was she made it out.
Yeah. See that?
This is
Yeah.
a hard street to get out of.
Yeah. Most people get trapped down here.
She was born here because the ambulance couldn't get out. This is what Doring said. He was taking me for a 10-day round trip through the island. So he said, okay, fine. If you probably need some clothes. Fair enough. You take me on a long trip. The two men chatted most of the way there to the house. And when they arrived, the driver invited Doring in for tea. Doring said, once inside, there were all these table tennis trophies in the house. I asked him about them, and the driver told me they were his sisters. So Doring then asked if he could meet the sister.
What's the challenger? For the trophy. I want that.
I want that.
Play for keeps.
And there's a bit of a twist here.
What?
The two fell in love, and Doring ended up living in Sri Lanka from then on.
He fell in love with his cab driver.
His cab driver's sister.
Oh, okay.
Imagine if that happened. Well, we're seeing where the mum was born.
Oh, yeah. I'll just come in for a little cuppa and then one of us falls in love.
Or all of us.
With his wife. Very awkward.
Dave sees the table tennis trophies.
Oh, my God. Your wife is really good at table tennis?
I must meet this woman.
Wow, that's so wild, though. Yeah, because that obviously going to get clothes has just changed his passenger's life forever.
If his taxi driver was just semi-organised,
had
he's
already
not
packed
getting
a
this
bag.
10-day job at the last second.
Yeah, he knows.
So lucky that he got in the cab and the driver was naked.
I'm so sorry. I've made a mistake. I only live a few minutes away. I woke up. I was running late. I forgot to clean my teeth and I forgot to put on clothes.
I have put deodorant on though.
Now the teeth, forgive me. The clothes, I'm really sorry.
That's a mistake.
That is a big mistake. I thought it felt a bit breezy down there, and also up here, everywhere. It's a windy day, as you would know.
That's
You're here as well.
because in Sri Lanka, all the cabbies are like old Aussie white guys.
So this is in Doring's own words. He loved Sri Lanka. So it's his first time visiting. He said, when I first touched down in Sri Lanka as a tourist, I instantly fell in love with the country. In the 2 weeks of my first visit, I experienced Sri Lanka as a kind of heaven. He loved it. He also said, since on all my foreign travels, I take my table tennis racket in my travelling bag, I took the opportunity to play an open table tennis tournament in Colombo.
As in, like, he takes it as carry-on.
Yeah.
That's so
Just
awesome.
never know.
Yeah, hey, if there's any terrorists on this flight, don't worry, I'll beat them off. And then I'll use the table tennis bat.
You know that little change table in the toilet? He sees that. Some people see that as an awkward place to change a nappy. Not him.
Just a quick game. Quick game. Mano a mano. Hey, if I win, you have to land the plane and give control back to the pilot. But if you win, you can take this plane wherever you like.
Okay?
Okay.
And he sharks them as well. He loses the first bit on purpose.
Oh, double or nothing.
Double or nothing.
Oh, double or nothing. And by
Now,
the way,
you have to give
I'm
the-
actually a right-hander.
You have to give the plane back and pay the ransom money.
Pay your own ransom.
So he's in Colombo now playing table tennis. And I love it. It's the kind of thing that if there's a table tennis game, you don't have to bring your own bat. If there's a table and a game going on, there's a bat there.
There's always
for
a
you.
bat.
You tell that to like a tennis player. They're travelling with their rackets.
Oh, you reckon there's like a... maybe
I think he's probably like strapped the handle the way he
Right,
likes,
yep.
and he's got a real feel for it. The weight, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably like a picture of Pikachu or something on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, lucky
Fun.
Pikachu, yeah.
Yeah.
What year was this?
1981.
Yeah, Pikachu.
Yeah, Pikachu.
Ahead of his time.
So he got really connected with the Sri Lankan table tennis community there, which is burgeoning. And then between 1982 and 89, he split his time between his old and new homes. He was still travelling back to Germany, lecturing at a business college in Hilden, but was also just staying involved in the world of table tennis in Sri Lanka.
And do his family know about the family in Sri Lanka, or is this secret second wife style stuff?
Yeah, no, they know. Oh, you think he's just popping over? Oh, got to head off on business
For
again.
another 6 months to Sri Lanka.
Why do you keep packing your table tennis bat? I always do. You know that. On any international thing. I've been on the record saying
Look,
that.
there are terrorists to challenge on these flights.
I might have to bat him off, so to speak. He's just absolutely sweating.
It's saying way too much.
And then in 1989, he was offered the role of coaching the Sri Lankan national table tennis team.
That's awesome.
And that's when he moved full-time to his new home. Then the Sri Lankan team went straight to the World Championships that year. And they were held in Germany, funnily enough. And they did really well. Though it's not that well documented. I couldn't find all the results of the table tennis World Championships from 1989.
From 1989?
Online. Isn't that
Really?
weird? You'd think there'd be some website from the Association of Table Tennis.
Yeah.
But all I could find was from the round of 16, which it didn't seem like there were any Sri Lankan players in there. But they talk about it like it was a really successful tournament for them. One of the players, a guy called... Do you know much about Sri Lankan table tennis, Søren?
I mean, it completely invalidates me being here, but no. If you need me to list names of cricketers I've met, I can do that.
Do you feel like this was like a tokenistic kind of thing of...
A little bit, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
I just... we were talking about our festival runs coming up last night. I'm like, you should come on the show tomorrow.
Yeah, it was very generous.
And it was quite a I would say
Yes, it's Christmas Day. I've got nothing to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
It's nice that you guys were chatting on Christmas Eve. Just having a cute little catch up.
Yeah, we were visiting Santa at Maya together.
Whoa.
We sat on an E each.
Wow.
Told him what you wanted.
So I went to the Maya Santa. I don't know if we have time for this,
course
but
we
I
do.
took my little nephews there, and it's all like I don't know if you've been recently, but everything's very commercialized now. So they you line up for ages, and they make you wait for photos so they can sell you the photos.
Oh,
And then because they're trying to
They
cattle
sell the
call
photos?
everyone through, like so many people,
that doesn't feel like the Christmas spirit.
it doesn't at all. 'Cause
It is weird for a big corporation like Maya to be quite corporate about it.
Yeah, I was
bizarre.
surprised.
They're
But
trying to make you consume, are they?
They've got like 12 Santas there, and obviously they don't want the kids to see all of the Santas. So the very last bit, you go in, it's like a corridor with all these doors on either side of it. It feels like you're walking into a... I've never seen one or
That
been in
is
one,
hectic.
but I've seen them represented on film. But it feels like you're in a brothel. And then you go into
I was
it.
wondering what you were
What's he going to compare this
dancing
to?
around. I thought you were going to say like a maze. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
you've been
you
You go
never
into the
defensive
room,
about that.
Santa's on a bed, It's like very... Yeah,
Wow.
that's a lot.
That is wild. They've
Did
got
we have
12
time for that?
Santas?
I don't know if that was worth...
Oh, I think we did.
I took my baby to the same one. Is this the Mara in the City?
Yeah.
And
Where the windows are. What are the windows, this year?
Steve Irwin?
Steve Irwin themed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very un-Christmassy, I got to tell you.
No, but
What do they
I was
put-
into it.
They put like Santa's hats on the Crocs and stuff. It was bluey last year or the year before.
The very last
I think
window was sort of Christmassy. They brought it back, but the first one's
Yeah.
like
Just-
safari.
There's
sort of
like-
Aussie sort
I
of
think
stuff,
it's
yeah.
always like the gumnut babies and stuff. They always do. It's a non-Christmas thing, just Christmasified a bit.
Yeah.
How many Christmas things could you do?
Yeah, that's right.
It's
That's rude.
Red-Nosed Reindeer again. This time his name's John.
Hey, I was just say that we went in and down the corridor that I didn't even think reminded me of a brothel, but I went. We saw Santa, but the noise bleed is so
But now
bad.
that you've mentioned it.
You go in there and the Santa's like, there's obviously a lot of Santa's helpers because Santa can't be everywhere. So you go in there and there's one of Santa's helpers and he's ho ho ho, Merry Christmas. But the noise bleed is so bad you can just hear 2 minutes later ho 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 in the room next door. Obviously,
It's also because it's just constructed
yeah,
like
yeah,
little,
it's just like plywood or something.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
yeah.
And well, I guess as a baby, you're probably not
Yeah,
having to
baby
worry
got-
about that too
all
much.
good.
But your young nephews, are they going, what the fuck's that?
They're like, I didn't bring cash.
All right, so one of the players, none of them made the round of 16, but there was one player, Lilath Priantha. He did so well, he received a world ranking position.
Whoa.
And according to the Sunday Times, he also captained the Sri Lankan team and was the toast of the country after winning more than 50% of his group matches, 13 out of 22. So they're like,
Whoa.
this guy's dominating on the world stage.
A lot of group matches and 22. Whoa.
And then back home, he was just the king over there. The Sunday Times writes, after returning, he won a plethora of titles, including the YMCA Open, the My Lady Tournament, the Mayor's Cup, the Colombo Table Tennis Club Tournament, the Sakura Open, and the Ashok Malvani Tournament. Basically the Dons Bradman of domestic Sri Lankan table
Sounds
tennis
like
in the early 90s.
Did the Grand Slam in 1 year.
Yeah.
He
Incredible.
just dominated. This is the best. So he's got no relevance to the story at all, but I just like him.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about him.
As you should.
All right. So after the relative success of the World Championships in Germany, the idea came about for a sporting exchange program between Sri Lanka and Germany. Fusey suggests it was Doring's idea, but according to a social media post Doring made in 2013, it was actually the idea of politician the Honourable Festus Pereira.
Festus?
Such a good name. The Honourable
Especially
Festus.
today.
Oh,
Christmas
yeah.
Day.
Oh my God.
Festus.
This is a Christmas episode. Happy Festus. Festus greetings.
So Festus, according to Doring, contacted him to discuss fostering a closer relationship with the German sporting communities, and he proposed and founded then the Sri Lanka or Asia German Sports Exchange Program.
You really want that soft S with Festus, don't you? Because if it's a heart, it's more like Festus, and then
Oh yeah, Festus.
sort of like it's a condition or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's a hard S? But yeah, no, I see. Appreciate you explaining.
Or if you take out the S at all, it's fetus.
Or take
There's still an S. Fetus.
Take out the middle of it.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, fetus? The N-S. Got it.
Anyway, so this is
Take
where...
the first S out of my name. Still Jess.
Oh, what?
Oh, yeah.
You got a backup S. You
It's crazy.
got a surplus.
Yeah. I got too many S's.
We got a Ren over here.
Uren's good. Uren. All right, Uren. See you next time. So anyway, the Asian German Sports Exchange Program, I'm going to be calling it AGSEP from now.
Thank you.
Or without an S.
Is that-
AGEP.
Is that one of yours?
Yeah, I think, I don't know if it's an initialism or the other one. What's the other one, Dave?
Acronym.
Let's
go with AGSEP. Like it.
AGSEP. Yeah, sounds like an old pharaoh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, the AGSEP program was about bringing people from Germany and Sri Lanka together through sport. It's about building communities, relationships.
Yeah.
And as Doring later said, when you put a German professor, he's talking about himself, with a doctorate against a Sri Lankan fisherman on a ping pong table, their professional background disappears. It's just about the sport. So I guess
beautiful.
What he's saying is, if I'm meeting a fisherman, I'm like, fisherman.
I look down upon you.
I'm looking down.
I'm a professor with a doctorate.
Yeah.
You're a yucky fisherman.
You smell like fish.
But put a bat in your
I
hand.
smell like books.
Which we can all agree are very nice. Which I've read. He probably hasn't.
He probably can't.
Yeah.
He probably could probably read a fish.
So judgmental.
It's like the first read, you just go, yeah, that's nice. And you're like, wait, hang on.
Yeah, no, first read I was like, okay. Like you could just say, regardless of your background of, socioeconomic status, of
What
so many
language you
things,
speak,
language,
yeah.
you put, on the ping pong table, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just say that.
Yeah.
Don't be like, me, great.
Yes.
Him, stinky.
I think
You have to be at least 3.5 meters away from me at all times. And then I don't have to smell your fish.
I keep a table between me and this guy.
I think because the first time I read it, I didn't connect that he was talking about himself. German professor with a doctorate. It was very specific.
Let's take two random professions. For example, an acclaimed professor
Germany,
from Germany.
Yeah.
with a doctorate.
We'll give him the initials DD.
Yeah. And let's take another profession at random. Disgusting fisherman.
Yeah, you, the guy I'm talking to. What do you do? Stinky.
Come on, mate.
But the program was a great success, as Fiorzi writes. Sri Lankans played against Germans in hundreds of tournaments in a variety of sports. Sometimes the German teams would come to Sri Lanka. Other times, the Sri Lankans would go to Germany. Thank you so much for explaining that. In Doring's words, in the wake of our massive sports exchange program, several high-ranking Sri Lankan dignitaries accepted invitations to Germany and visited together with me and their respective German counterparts. The energetic Sri Lankan ministers were able to foster closer relationships with provincial councils, German cities, and German ministries, resulting in numerous visits of their German counterparts to Sri Lanka. So, it was sort of like making connections politically in all sorts of ways.
Yeah, perfect.
Through sport. And yes, that's a bit of background bringing us to this week's story. So in 2003, Doring took a call from a director in the Sri Lankan Sports Ministry about setting up a handball exhibition with the German national team, and he was happy to line it up. He'd already done so many of these. It was nothing out of the ordinary. He's like, sounds like a great idea. The exhibition match was organised, and it ended up being quite one-sided. Germany whooped Sri Lanka 36-2.
Not surprising, they're playing European handball.
Yeah, it's in the name.
Yeah, and they're coached by a table tennis coach.
That's like, I know how to hit a ball. You could probably throw a ball.
Yeah, there was all balls. No, he was head of the organisation, not the coach of the team. Okay. They got a handball coach in.
All right.
But yeah, of course, it was a flogging, but the program wasn't just about the sport. It was about building the relationships. And so a return series was organised in Germany for the following year. So AGSEP organised the logistics, as they always did, setting the team up with visas, flights and accommodation before the 2-week trip to Germany in September of 2004 for a 10-match tournament. Fusey writes, the team arrived in Witterslingen, a town in southern Germany, the afternoon before the tournament was set to begin. I think this is how all top flight sporting teams do it. They'll fly in basically just before the match starts.
Perfect for you.
Just land next to the court.
Yeah, we don't want to have to pay for accommodation.
But they didn't have a quiet one either. They arrived and they met the mayor of the town. They took photos, had dinner with their German counterparts, and they had a really nice time. Recalling the trip, one of the Sri Lankan players named Rupa Singh recalled, "We went sightseeing, we sang and danced and had a great time." Fiorzi continues, "On game day, the team tried its best to show it had improved since the exhibition game, but this time around, the Sri Lankans didn't score a single point. Chandera, another player, said, 'We got hammered again.' But the Germans didn't laugh at us."
So that's something.
That is something.
Yeah.
And the Germans, they're known for their laughter. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know? They're just, they're very light-hearted
If you
people.
can stop them laughing, you know that you've won their respect.
That's right.
I mean, it is funny you say that, but who was the hottest crowd in our European tour?
Probably Edinburgh.
Pound for pound.
Oh, you know, our Berlin show was incredible. How many of
bad
them were
were you?
German?
I think quite a lot of them there, actually.
Can I ask, how bad were you at handball that you got them to laugh? That's so impressive.
True.
We actually, the only goal we scored was Dave scoring an own goal.
Yeah, I was like, I did it! And you're like, the wrong fucking end.
Wrong way, mate! And the crowd absolutely pissed themselves.
Yeah. And we said, okay.
But yeah, Rupa Singer said, they weren't laughing at us. They compared it to the early beginnings of German handball in 1900. You remind us of us. Before cars were common.
Yeah. And I don't know, before there were any other teams that could do this.
Yeah.
We were
Like what we
fishermen
did.
too.
Yeah.
We played with a rock. But no, the Germans were really encouraging in that way. And they saw this tournament as a way of building relationships. Also building the sport. It's like, it's great to have more countries involved in the great sport of European handball.
Yeah.
Doring didn't make the trip over, but was able to watch highlights of the match via the nightly news in Sri Lanka. So I was getting coverage back home.
that's cool.
Yeah. Back to Fiorzi. At night, there was hardly any talk of sport. This is after the game. The Germans hosted the Sri Lankans for another dinner. It was just a party time.
Sometimes you call them Fiorzi.
Yes.
And sometimes you say Fusey, like his German Husey. Or
Should
something.
I look in?
Oh, Fusey.
Hey, Fiorzi. Hey, no. Good on you. Good on us.
Achtung Fusey.
I'll try and stick with one of those. Which do you prefer? Fusey?
Fusey, yeah, I love
Definitely
Fusey.
prefer Fusey.
Andrew Fusey.
Only Boost Mobile.
Boost Mobile.
We'll give you a free year of service.
Free year.
When you buy a new 5G phone.
New 5G phone.
Enough.
But I'm your hype man. When you purchase an eligible device, you get $25 off every month for 12 months with credits totaling 1 year of free service. Taxes extra for the device and service plan. Online only.
Picture this, you're halfway through a DIY car fix, tools scattered everywhere, and boom, you realise you're missing a part. It's okay, because you know whatever it is, it's on eBay. They've got everything, brakes, headlights, cold air intakes, whatever you need. And it's guaranteed to fit, which means no more crossing your fingers and hoping you ordered the right thing. All the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. eBay, things people love.
They're partying, they're having dinner, they're dancing, they're singing, they're celebrating. Rupa Singer says, "We had a very great time in this place." So off the pitch, the tour's off to an amazing start. But obviously, this story isn't just about some great tour where a team's not very good at a sport.
Okay.
Something's going to happen.
Something is going to happen.
I was thinking, like, maybe he's just picked a nice story for Christmas.
Yeah.
You know, hey, these guys went over, had a good time. They went back. Good night.
Sri Lankan handball went from strength to strength. No, the very next morning, the team had vanished.
The entire team.
The entire team, the coaching staff,
What?
the manager,
They'd vanished.
gone without a trace.
What?
Their
Aliens.
clothes and everything was still in their rooms.
They're just gone.
They're just gone.
Gotta be aliens.
Are they
Everyone.
driving taxis now?
They're like, oh,
Their clothes are still in their rooms.
Yeah, they're naked driving their
they forgot to brush their teeth. Forgot to put on clothes.
You gotta meet my sister.
How many people
Lot
are
of it-
missing?
Yeah, what is a handball
It's
team?
like 23 plus. So it's, I think it was 23 plus coaching staff.
That's concerning.
I
You
was-
guys are being very lighthearted about a bunch of missing people.
Oh, yeah, that's worrying.
I have a feeling I Is this? It's like this is. We're talking about this is during Civil War, right?
Yes.
So that could be why.
Oh, back in Sri
Maybe
Lanka, it's,
they've done
it's a
It
pretty
is, that's right.
tumultuous time.
It is a
So
tumultuous
that's
time.
why I was being glib, because I think it's a happy story.
Okay.
I don't think that there's some.
Well, the first thought the German organisers had were they probably went up out for an early morning jog in a nearby forest and have got lost.
All 30 of them
Yeah.
lost.
Yeah, even the admin staff.
Yeah.
They've gotten up for the 5 a.m. jog. We train as a team.
Yeah, the driver, everyone.
Yeah, right.
Bus driver.
But no, they soon found out that wasn't the case. Things took a different turn, and the world's news was captivated by the story. This is how Reuters reported it in September of 2004. I can never say that one right. What is it? Reuters.
Reuters.
Reuters. Fusey writing for Reuters.
I'm for one. I'm glad that the world news has picked this up, because that means Doring doesn't just have to wait for the Sri Lankan nightly news
Yeah, that's
for
right.
its updates.
Oh, the way he finds out about it is pretty funny.
Okay.
It's not that funny, but it's...
I can't wait for it to be hilarious.
Start the
I
countdown.
think it's going to make
I'm
Germans
gonna laugh. I'm gonna laugh.
So this is the Reuters report from that...
Let's
that
really
week.
laugh when Doring finds out. Let's really piss ourselves.
Sure, it's not funny at all. It's just,
can't
I just
wait.
think it's funny in the way that it's just like...
Nah, it's gonna be really
it would
funny.
have come from an official channel.
No,
Yeah, right,
it's
right.
gonna be really good.
Here's Reuters. Sri Lanka is trying to solve the mysterious disappearance of its national handball team. National handball team in inverted commas.
No, rude.
That's disrespectful.
That's rude.
While on tour in Germany, but it is no easy task as the country does not have such a team.
What?
Okay.
There's no such team as the Sri Lankan handball team.
What if they just made it up to get to Germany?
I'm just reading from Reuters, guys, okay?
There is no such thing. I mean, Reuters don't get these kind of things wrong. That's so funny.
Acting German ambassador Sri Lanka, Heidi Jung, says the 23-strong team, in inverted commas, managed to fool the German embassy in Colombo into issuing visas for a month-long tour beginning on September the 8th. They presented documents, and the documents looked all right. So there were no reasons to say, we can't give you a visa, she said.
That's amazing.
The group vanished soon after arrival, and German and Sri Lankan officials have been unable to trace them. They are legally allowed to stay until October the 7th. Sri Lankan Olympic Association President Hemasiri Fernando says the sport, popular in Europe, does not have a federation body in the country. We don't have a single club, he said. Sri Lankan Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sport says it is unclear about the group's strategy, whether it is political asylum or illegal immigration. So yeah, pretty...
That's so okay. I'm glad Suren said this is during a civil war time in Sri Lanka, and that's what you think. Because even without that piece of information, I'd still be like, "What the fuck is happening?" But now I'm like, I love this. This rules.
And so, are they the same people that Germany came over and played against?
Yes.
So they
It's all part of the...
put a team together.
sort of a bit of a long con.
People
so
had
to
never.
speak.
Wow.
So they probably don't even know the rules.
It's incredible. They scored 2 points against
No.
Germany.
Yeah, this is the thing that blew my
There's
mind.
no
away.
chance we could get on a court against
No.
any European national team and even touch
the ball.
Yeah, I never touched the ball.
In Year 9 PE, we played handball, and I was all right at it.
All right, you're our lead.
That one time.
Lead. I know the positions.
All right, me and David goalie, I guess, if there is one. We're allowed to touch the ball with our hands. We're like so confused.
Whoa.
That's so good.
Okay.
So yeah, are you wondering?
Did you try and apply for like uni games
Of
as a way
course.
to escape
High school.
you and 12 classmates? Right? Let's go rogue on the Gold
The
Coast.
only reason anyone ever plays handball is to get out of somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, we've looked it up. It's not even a real sport.
The whole history of it.
Handballs in quotation marks.
Yeah. So Doring, was he in on it? That's something that you might be wondering.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Has he found out about it yet? Because Jess and I are really looking forward to that bit.
Well, get ready for the next paragraph because he was as surprised as anyone. He did not know about it. This is
Yeah, but how did he find out?
Well, I'll let Fusey tell us. The following morning, a university student from Germany who was interning with AGSEP walked into Doring's office. His face was pale. He said, "Mr. Doring, do you know what happened?" This is Doring recalling it. I said, "Don't tell me that these people have gone." Somehow, I could tell by his face that they had.
He's got to be in on it. He's a guy who has no idea what's happened.
Yeah.
Oh, don't tell me it's completely disappeared, every single one of them.
Don't tell me they've left their clothes behind and they've left.
I was just coming in to ask if you wanted a coffee. That's weird.
That is like anything could have happened.
Yeah.
One of the players had a heart attack or something.
Yeah. Your preferred cafe downstairs is closed for cleaning today, so I have to get you a coffee from somewhere else.
Don't tell me they've all escaped. But no, apparently, I mean, unless he is really good at this lie, he's maintained that.
Wow.
I believe that he did not know, but it is a wild assumption to jump to.
That's amazing.
Then on his...
That was so funny.
He runs this big Sri Lankan body that sent like hundreds and hundreds of Sri Lankans to and from Germany. And he finds out that a team has disappeared because an intern comes in with a pale face. Oh, I know what's happened.
But he's in Sri Lanka?
He's in Sri Lanka, yeah. He's at the AGSEP office.
So I guess, like, you have an idea of what's happening in the world. Maybe it's not completely far-fetched, but it is funny that's the first thing you jump to. Oh, they've done a runner, haven't they? They've done a runner.
Oh, have you heard the news? They won 30-0. No.
Absolutely not.
Did they score again?
You could have guessed anything.
Yeah.
So then he had the 33-mile drive from AGSEP's headquarters in Marawila to the German embassy in Colombo. And he was on non-stop calls with TV stations around the world through that whole drive, saying, I took an extra battery with me before the drive. I knew I was going to be on the phone a lot.
Is this in the era of car phones?
No, probably a mobile phone with a battery.
Yeah.
It was his early 90s, though. Is that what it is?
2004.
Okay.
Do you want to apologise to me?
They still had car phones in 2004? Yeah, I apologise.
You are an absolute
I thought this was more like
turd.
1994, and I was like, ooh la la.
I'm going to dunk your head in a toilet. In the Jess
only way he
Perkins toilet.
The non-stop calls, that is pretty funny.
Yeah.
BBC, Australia, even reporters from Saudi Arabia. This is still him being quoted. All the news stations thought I was the mastermind, though.
BBC, Australia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Australia is a news network.
And Saudi Arabia isn't
Yeah.
either. What's he? Yeah, BBC. Does he know BBC is not a country?
I don't think he does.
Oh, my God.
This guy's an idiot.
Speaking of the BBC, soon after, Doring said, we initially thought the team had got lost in the nearby woods while jogging. But he said a note had been found saying the 23-strong team had gone to France. We know they crossed into Italy, Mr. Doring said. They even left their dirty laundry, he added.
Oh, rude.
The entire team of 23 men, including the coach and the manager, has taken off. He was really annoyed.
And was that like a ruse to say, hey, we've gone to France, so they'll look sort of
I think it might have been,
and
yes.
they went east.
Well, I think that was a ruse, but yeah,
That's pretty
How
funny.
did they get in? Did they tell the French that the Sri Lankan croquet team or something?
Yeah.
They're all dressed in like whites.
Yeah, it's just a lie and a lie and a lie. Is there a more ridiculous sport than handball? Well, I think Seren just thought of it. The news was portrayed differently by different outlets around the world. And the one that Doring remembers the most is Fox News in America.
Oh, dear.
As Fusey writes, you can probably imagine what angle they took. Doring says they played up the civil war happening in Sri Lanka between the Sinhalese and the Tamil Tigers, a separatist group known for setting off car bombs in the 90s. But that was mainly in the northern part of the country, says Doring. Not to mention, he adds, there were only 3 Tamil players on the team. The rest were Sinhalese and 1 was Muslim. Fusey continues. Nonetheless, the report suggested that a handball team full of Tamil terrorists had been smuggled into Germany. The Fox went with
Terrorists.
terrorists.
I wouldn't have expected that from Fox News.
Doring was like, why wasn't I on that plane?
I could have handled them. I would have challenged them one after another.
And it sounds like I would have won easily.
Multiple media outlets also called the Sri Lankan Sports Ministry for their response, and according to a BBC report from 2004, they responded by saying that the trip wasn't authorised, or in the words of a ministry spokesperson, handball is a sport very rarely played in Sri Lanka, and the formation of a national team is a mystery. So they're just like, I didn't even know they were, I didn't know. Doring sort of says that's not quite true. He said a director of the sports ministry knew. After all, he said that it was an official from the ministry who put AGSEP in touch with Athula Wijanyaka, who became the Sri Lankan team's coach in the first place. Wijanyaka also went missing. And
Are they Sri Lankan?
They're Sri Lankan, yeah.
Yep.
And Doring reckons that he was probably the mastermind. I'm doing a bit of reading between the lines, but maybe the ministry generally didn't know, but someone in there
Might have,
was sort of in on this whole ruse.
It's so amazing. Like, if it is someone's idea, then they just start asking. I guess they have to ask. They have to be pretty young, pretty fit people for it to work. You can't ask, like, your grandpa to be on the handball team. People would be suspicious, right? But you have to start, hey, I've got this idea. We can go to Germany, and then you've got to get at least 30 people in on it. Keep it a secret.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
then
it's a
possibly
lot.
officials too. That's amazing.
Yeah. And to pull it off, wild. And I think another reason was it was mainly young men, is they were going to try and work to earn money to send back home as well.
Gotcha.
So anyway, let's go back a bit to 2002 to figure out how this all happened.
Well, they had car phones then.
Can you excuse us for a sec?
Yeah.
Dave and I just have to go to the toilet.
Oh, no, please. I'll be good.
AJ had the flushing sound effect. Dave sounded like he enjoyed it.
Oh, don't do it again.
Stop.
Oh, I hate this.
So yeah, 2002, the era of car phones.
Car phones are huge. I'm there.
This is a couple of years before the disappearance. And I quoted a couple of players earlier, and I was able to do that because they both spoke to Andrew Fusey, talking him through the whole thing.
Wow.
And like I said, this is probably the most
So they're not
detailed
dead.
account I could find. No, they're not dead.
Wow, that's good. Because imagine if we're just like, oh, they've done this to sneak away, and it turns out they were all murdered.
Oh, right. Oh, they did get lost in a forest and they fell like in a hole.
Yeah.
All of them in a
and
hole.
we're like, oh, yeah, but they're all dead.
The Germans take handball very seriously.
Yeah.
You violated the sanctity of our great sport.
So, so one of the players I was talking about before, Rupa Singer, received a phone call in 2002. He was about 23 at the time, and this was a friend who wanted to talk about leaving Sri Lanka for Europe. And this is how Rupa Singer relayed it to Fiorzi. Of course, I wanted to go. He had relatives in Italy. He could finally go and join them. He's like, maybe I could even get a job spinning pizzas. But when he thought about leaving the island nation, he envisaged getting on a boat and sailing across the ocean inside an 8 by 20 foot metal box like a piece of cargo. That's how my relatives got to Italy, he said. Not legally, but via boat and container lorry, which sounds like an awful way to travel.
Yeah.
And quite unsafe as well. They talk about how others had tried that and not made it to the other side. They died on the way. But he was also like, I can't do that. And he's like, my parents would never let me anyway. I can't do it that way. And he was ready to rebuff his friend's invitation. But of course, this plan didn't involve a dangerous sea voyage. It involved handball. Okay, I'm listening. I can imagine Rupa Singer's reply came. Chandana received a similar call. His came from his brother, who was already living in Italy. So, like, outside of the group, there are a lot of people who are sort of putting all the wheels in motion. And apparently in Italy, there's like quite a large Sri Lankan expat community. Fusey writes, there's a plan, his brother told him. It would cost $4,000, but Chandana could pay back his brother when he got to Rome. He just needed to learn handball.
That $4,000 of handball lessons?
Chandana had never played handball before. He had never even held one. He did, however, play volleyball in high school. He never made it a first base, which is obviously a different sport as well.
Do you think of make it out as a sport?
Yeah, to me.
Yeah.
That's how I score.
Yeah, touchdown.
So yeah, he played volleyball in high school, and his team actually won the national title. So he was handy at sport, which is good for him. handball.
You know, the ball's even smaller. It's even easier.
Yeah, I can just grab it. Yeah, I've got to keep tippity-tapping it. Volleyball.
He's just trying to dig and pike a handball.
So he says it didn't take him too long to learn the basics. There's 2 30-minute halves. A player can run 3 steps without dribbling the ball. And the goal was to score. There were other rules as well, but they're the only ones he could remember.
And that cost $4,000.
No, I don't think the $4,000 was to learn that was to pay. I think everyone to get into the scheme had to pay a fee.
A bit of a buy-in.
Yeah, which I'm guessing was maybe paying off a few officials or something.
Right. You got to get fake uniforms made.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Fusey continues. The first part of the plan was simple. Play in the exhibition match being put on by the AGSEP. For it, the Sri Lankan Sports Ministry hired a handball coach, like we talked about before, Wijan Nayaka, who Doring thinks might have been the mastermind. And the team had the 23 Sri Lankan men, and then they'd go and play the national tournament in Germany, play handball, and then promptly disappear. Pretty straightforward.
Bada bing.
Bada bing, bada boom, bada gone. Bada gone? So yeah, I think, like you said, scoring at all against the Germans,
2.
it was wild. They'd learnt the game a couple of weeks earlier.
What an indictment on the German team.
Yeah.
No offense to the
And they go,
goalie.
oh, you remind us of the German team in the 1900s.
Yeah, we were trying to escape Munich.
Yeah, so they had hardly learnt the game. And they also must have been, I mean, I would have been shitting myself that at any moment someone would have figured out the scheme. And you're playing against the best, some of the best in the world. Wild. So, yeah. In hindsight, Doring says there were probably a few little signs that should have or could have made him suspicious. For instance, they had a photo shoot early, one of the first times he met him, and they all wore suits and ties. And he said, most athletes I've met throughout the years normally wear gym clothes. So maybe I could have caught it on there.
They wear their uniform.
Yeah.
He's like, they all smell like books, which I was very surprised by.
Yeah, normally they stink. Yeah, so the new coach had a couple of weeks to get them prepared, according to Fusey. Practices were held a few times a week. So maybe they had like 5 or 6 training sessions beforehand. So, you know, enough to figure out a game like handball.
Yeah.
Grab a ball, chuck a ball. I think I got it. Yeah. Imagine the coach like, yeah, we got it.
I play cricket at the moment, and I hate training. Imagine, like, how committed do you think they are at these training sessions?
Yeah.
It's like such a chore. Maybe it's not worth getting out of the country.
Yeah.
Can't we just play a game?
3 times a week.
Yeah, it's too much. I trained a lot playing basketball as a teenager, but I didn't have anything else to do in my life other than school, you know, so it was fine. Now, if I'm playing a sport and they're like, and there's training twice a week, I'm like, I'm not playing.
Sorry.
That's bullshit.
Don't have the time.
Who's got the fucking time? That's crazy.
So they learnt the basics. None of them at all had any handball experience because the whole country didn't have any handball experience. But the whole key was to appear like they knew what they were doing, at least to stop the officials feeling suspicious.
Fake it till you make it.
They ended up scoring 2 points to 36. Then they flew to Germany for the tournament. And like I said, they had a great time with the Germans. The Germans were great hosts, which is a little bit heartbreaking. And apparently, Rupper Singer said that later. He's like, we were feeling pretty bad the night before as they're being the best hosts. And we're like, oh, we're going to be ditching them tomorrow morning. And
hey, you showed us such a good time. We're going to move to your continent. We love it.
We love
That's
it.
nice. The
Fusey
ultimate
writes,
compliment.
after dinner, the Sri Lankan team went back to their rooms, packed up their clothes, obviously not their dirty laundry, and waited until just before dawn. At 5 a.m., they finally slipped out of their hotel. All of us in groups of 2 and 4 walked outside in different directions, says Chandana. We didn't speak to others about where we were heading to. That way, just in case any of them got caught, they wouldn't have any information that might jeopardize one another.
Clever.
Yeah, so they all just like, I think it feels like, was it The Great Escape or something was like that? They were just all went off in their different ways after they escaped.
So the only thing they had in common was that they wanted to escape. And
Right,
get
so
to Europe.
they weren't travelling as a group.
Yeah.
They were,
So interesting.
It is interesting, but also it makes sense too, because I was picturing before, like, it would be pretty easy to spot a group of 30 Sri Lankans in the German countryside or
suits
something,
and
you know?
ties.
Yeah, you'd be like, well, you don't see that every day.
and they all look like they kind of know handball a bit.
Yeah.
There's just something about them.
Yeah.
But yeah, even though they weren't traveling together, most of them were heading to Italy because there was already like quite a community in Italy, which I didn't realise.
No, I didn't know that.
Because Melbourne's got quite a big Sri Lankan expat community.
But no handball here.
No
That's the only
handball, that's
problem.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in Eurovision. Maybe we should be in Euro handball.
Yeah.
We went, what was that restaurant I went to for good tucker? That Sri Lankan restaurant?
Yeah, it was called Upali's.
That's so good.
Yeah.
There's a few Sri Lankan restaurants around Coburg now as well.
There are. And they're mostly ex-handball players.
But they know how to cook.
Yeah.
It's one thing
Crazy.
handball players know.
It's crazy.
It's how to cook.
Chandana said, we knew from our relatives and friends, once we reached Italy, there was no way of sending us back. They just saw Italy as like a safe zone. Italian people are very friendly and they like us to work in their restaurants, Chandana said. So yeah, that's the story. They all basically just went to Italy and they got in.
And they were allowed to stay.
They're allowed to stay, yep. But maybe it's not all happy because, it seems like not all of them enjoyed the Italian way of life once they got there. As Fusey writes, within a decade, more than half of the 23 players would return home. Chandana said, I came back after just 6 months.
Yeah, right.
My child was sick. I felt homesick. I couldn't find a job, even though I was promised one. I wrote a letter to Mr. Doring and asked for forgiveness. So he headed back home.
Right.
I mean, it's brutal. He's leaving his kids, his family behind.
Yeah.
That would be so hard, no matter the circumstances.
Like with the intent of sending money back and supporting them, but still makes it all a lot more difficult.
Did he pay his brother the 4,000?
His brother's still furious. Rapa Singer went back to Sri Lanka in 2008, so he lasted 4 years. So he enjoyed it quite a lot more and still has an Italian visa. And he can, quote, go back to Italy anytime I want. I was in Italy for 4 years working in a pizzeria as a pizza baker. It was a good income. I could support my family in Sri Lanka who were very poor. I had a great time. But yeah, so he still gets back there and can get back there. So he got there, got the visa sorted out and everything.
That's amazing.
As for Doring, he originally wanted to bring every member of the team to court. He was furious.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I've set up... And because his whole... That organisation kind of fell apart because it was... No one trusted them.
He's like, no, I swear, these other people, they do play table tennis.
Yeah. He said, they made me look like a fool. After the incident, the German embassy blacklisted AGSEP from ever participating in sporting events in the country again.
That is a shame.
That's a bummer.
No more teams got visas thereafter. That's the sad side of the whole thing, he says. Fusey continues. Over the years, though, so he really was quite annoyed with the whole team. You can understand that.
Totally.
But over the years, he's developed a better sense of why the players did what they did. This wasn't a story of crime or smuggling or malicious intent. Each of the men on the team supported an average of 5 to 10 family members back in Sri Lanka, he estimates. And he says that he has it on good authority that each of those players sent money back to their families every month. For them, then, this is Fusey, how he finishes this great article. For them, then, they were playing a much more important game, a game of survival.
I thought he was going to say a game of life, but that's even better.
Yeah.
But imagine if you were a real handball fan and you read that. You'd be, come on, mate. Handball is life.
Yeah,
okay?
come on. It's important.
These people
Yeah.
disrespected our sport.
So that's the story, and yeah, like I said, there's not as much info as maybe I would have liked to tell. Would have loved to tell more individual stories of how they got through Italy and whatnot. But it has been turned into a movie. This is from a Sunday Times article by Sisitha Fernando. Fernando, very common surname in Sri Lanka.
It is,
I already knew, but I've realised more so in reading about it. She writes, or he writes, or they write, internationally acclaimed the full Monty fame director Uberto Pasolini is in town to cinematically capture the somewhat tragic yet hilarious true story of the Sri Lankan national handball team, which disappeared in Germany in 2004. According to the news reports, the then team, in inverted commas, had fooled the German embassy in Colombo to issue visas for a month-long tour in Bavaria from September the 8th, 2004. And the worst was most of them had never seen or played the game. So yeah, it got turned into a movie in 2008, which I think maybe one day we could watch it for the Dugon Movie Club.
I think so. I'd be up for that.
Yeah, I'd be up for that.
There's a photo from with the cast, and the reason I knew something was wrong straight away. They're not wearing suits and ties. The team's all there wearing.
Come on, mate.
They're great jerseys. They look not too far different from the World Cup winning
the one-day cricket team.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look like athletes there in their gym gear.
Yeah, they're actors.
Yeah.
They're like they probably had to do a few weeks of detoning to be more accurate. Anyway, that's the story of the disappearing Sri Lankan handball team.
Oh,
I love it
what a
because I've never
story.
heard of that.
Me either, but I'm also glad that they didn't end up in a hole.
Yes,
That's nice.
That's good news.
That's a relief.
yeah, they all ended up in a pizzeria.
I find it a bit disparaging when they keep saying team, fake team.
Yeah.
As soon as you put a group of people together that can score 2 points against the German
That's
national
a team.
handball team, you're a team.
That's
Yeah.
a team.
You're a team.
Also, it takes so much teamwork to coordinate that whole
It's the
subterfuge.
ultimate teamwork.
They're a team.
Yeah,
Let's take out those inverted
That's right. Yeah,
commas.
let them organise the next handball World Cup. They're incredible at organisation.
We won't have team in inverted commas in the title of this episode.
No.
Absolutely not.
no.
We respect them as a team.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know what should I call it because I obviously deliberately left out the disappearing things.
Yeah.
And I do love ones like that when I'm like, where is this going?
Yeah, it's
yeah.
always fun.
So yeah, I don't know what we should call it. Had you heard of that story before, Shane?
No, I hadn't actually.
Yeah, it obviously been suggested by a few people in America and elsewhere, but I don't recall it. But obviously, it did make world news at the time.
Because 2004 is also an Olympic year.
Oh yeah,
Was it
Athens? Yeah.
And they play European handball at the Summer Olympics. Yeah, so was
I
that
wonder if
another
there was
plan?
Yeah, that would be. That
they
feels
qualified?
like that would require like real good subterfuge. To
You would
get-
need like an Olympic committee like to back you and all that sort of
Yeah,
stuff.
too
right?
much.
Feel-
This way was better.
Yeah, I think Cool Runnings. This is like Cool Runnings. If on the day of the thing, they're like, where do they go? John Candy and all of them have gone.
Well, Matt, fantastic report. What a
Thanks so much.
story.
Hey, Merry Christmas.
Hey, Merry Christmas.
Hey, a little gift to you, Jess.
Turkey.
Oh,
Loose turkey?
Yeah, all right. Now back to driving the car, okay?
okay.
Done your report, you can
All right.
concentrate. But before we say goodbye to Seren, we would remind people that you're going on your tour. What's your show called? I forgot to ask.
It's called "There's a World Where My Head Ought to Be." It's a very artistic title.
Cool, I
Love
like
it.
And a funny show. And yeah, I'll be in Adelaide for Fringe Festival in the final week. I should have double checked the dates. I think it's like the 18th to the 22nd.
Brilliant.
And then Melbourne Comedy Festival. Sorry, that's March. 18th to the 22nd of March. And then Melbourne Comedy Festival is the whole month, which is like the 27th of March to the 20th of April
Brilliant.
at Melbourne Town Hall.
Amazing.
Check it out. Check out Seren. One of the best. You gotta get along.
18th to 22nd of March. So we don't overlap, unfortunately. I'm there 11th to the 15th of March. I'm going to do a Who Knew It if you get there a few days early.
Oh, it's tempting.
Beautiful city.
It's always a good time.
That time of year as well. When are you
I'll
there,
be
Dave?
in March from the 4th to the 8th. we all missing each
we're
other.
all like
Back to back.
back to back.
I'm
with a
doing
couple
my
days in
show
between.
with Sammy Peterson. We're doing our show together. But also on the Wednesday, March the 5th, I'm doing a live book cheat. I've been invited, I can't believe this, to be part of the Adelaide Writers Festival.
Oh.
For book cheat.
Whoa.
So good.
So,
That
yeah.
makes no sense.
Apparently-
You're right. You could be invited
He's
to
a
the
reader.
Readers Festival, sure.
They said they wanted to find something that was accessible.
Oh, yeah.
And they chose you.
Yeah, they were like, people don't even have to read and they can come along and enjoy something. So, yeah, check it out. Thanks so much.
We'll be back for everyone's favourite section of the show in a minute. But thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Well, that brings us to everyone's favourite section of the show. And while we did sub out one Seren, we have subbed in one AJ.
Hi, everyone. I'm so glad to be here for the best part of the show.
Yeah.
Hey, AJ, please edit that bit out.
We'll remove me from this entire section.
I've been told by a few listeners that you don't always edit out things that I say. AJ, please edit that out.
I was thinking about this.
Yeah.
I reckon we need like a safe word
I agree.
because there's AJ edit this out, but that's part like you saying that is part of the joke, and then there's hey AJ, my reputation is on the stake.
Yes,
on
yeah,
stake.
yeah.
Can you please?
I don't think I'm ever joking.
Okay.
Really? Okay. AJ, take him really literally now.
Okay.
And wait and see how short the fucking episodes are.
Yeah, future episodes are going to have very little Matt.
Yes, that would be my preference, but I would say yeah, I think you make a judgment call. Leave it in if it's funny enough. But generally speaking, I would say edit it out if I say edit it out.
Do you know why people find you funny?
Is this information you want, Matt?
No, I don't know.
Yeah. It's kind of like finding out when you'll die or something.
Yeah.
Do you want to know, as a comedian, why people find you funny?
I mean, I don't know. I think it'd be different because I think
I think a lot of it is the stuff you ask me to edit out as part of your shtick.
Well, yeah. It's a bit of a character I've been working on.
I know.
Just, do you want me to step out of the character for a while?
Yeah.
Okay, well, really nice to meet you. My name's Gertie. This Matt Stewart character I've been working on for years, and I've been living. I'm starting to wonder where it starts, and where Gertie ends.
It's terrifying to consider.
But I think this feels really good. Well, I don't know why am I still putting on the voice. This feels really good.
It's me, Gertie.
Feels good to be out.
It's so fun and it's so wonderful to finally meet you, Gertie.
So good to meet you, AJ.
How much of this do you want me to edit out? Maybe Gertie needs to come through when you legitimately want something edited out. That's how I'll know.
That's the code word.
Gertie.
Gertie.
Yeah.
Gertie here, AJ. Please do me a favour.
AJ, how do you handle it when maybe 20 minutes into an episode, Matt just says something like, plenty of stuff to be edited out there, AJ?
It is. I cannot describe in words how unhelpful it is to know by that point that you want me to edit something out 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
How do I handle that better?
So I mean,
I'll
you would
message you at the time.
You would write down a time code as it happened. You're rolling your eyes, and I get it. I know.
No,
I wouldn't do it either.
I wouldn't. I don't feel regret instantly. There's a 20-minute delay sometimes.
It would be so funny though to just look over at Matt and he's just gone silent. He's got a little notepad just writing down 15 minutes, 11. Yep.
It would be pretty good for us though, because if he says something tedious, we could just point at the notepad.
Write that down.
Write that down.
Yeah.
But that's the problem. It ends up becoming a bit, and then it loses all its power. You'll start doing it. And I'm like, is that a real one?
Yeah.
you're like,
that's exactly it, Matt.
That's,
saying
they want
edited
this.
out AJ has become a bit.
It can be printed on shirts. It can be printed on shirts.
Yep.
That's important. That's important for
good.
podcast merch.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's print out some shirts. Sex Smarter. A few people wanted some Sex Smarter merch.
Oh, get that going for sure.
Me and Dave are writing it. We're writing lyrics at the moment for the first Sex Smarter song.
Cool. What's the song called?
The working title is Pork and the Pope, or Pork by the Pope. I forget. But
Both are so good. It must be so hard to choose.
Yeah.
Maybe that's track 1 and track 2.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's confusing for the fans, but
No, but it's like it's the same sort of story, but from different perspectives. I think that's actually really powerful.
A Rashomon situation.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Which only got explained to me very recently.
And I haven't, but I'll nod it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hiroshima. So you said? Did you say Hiroshima?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah.
AJ, this is fully out of context for you, but here's a bit that I wanted to share from the episode.
Yeah.
Which was about, have you heard of the Sri Lankan handball team?
No.
So
But I'm sure I will hear about
Yeah, you will hear about
65 minutes of it before Christmas.
Anyway, I'm going to tell a slight extra bit of the story here.
Cool.
Because, so all you need to know is that a Sri Lankan handball team was formed, travelled over to Germany to play, and then they disappeared. And what was found in their room was a note and dirty laundry. Mm-hmm. Somehow I forgot to mention the note before, but I've just found a copy of it. I'm going to try and read it.
And AJ, it turns out the whole reason they made a fake handball team just to get to Europe they could.
They explain that in
an
the
Argo.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
An Argo situation almost then.
Yeah.
Another movie reference, which is how I see the world. The lens with which I see the world.
It writes, "For everyone, we want to say thank you. You are very friendly. We have decided to leave Germany and travel to France. We want to find It's a bit scrappily maintained. I think it might have been a lefty. I think there's a bit of a smudging happening. We want to find a better future life. This is our own decision, and we also will take full responsibility and risk for our decision. You all were very friendly and nice to us.
Okay, they've said that too many times now, so it's like, I don't think they were friendly.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, no, you were great. You were great.
You making fun of us?
You were great. Like,
Please
okay.
forgive us for our decision. We don't have any other way right now. We can't go back to Sri Lanka, so we will go now. Please don't worry about us. We will be fine. We are living out of Germany. You have done a lot for us, and thank you all again with love. Signed, manager, and a signature. So that's the note.
Okay.
Oh, there's and then there's in brackets at the bottom. We go with our manager. He came today, this morning.
Okay. He
There you
came.
Yeah.
Just a little glimpse behind the curtain of his morning,
Yep.
what he got up to, and now we're off. He said, well, just give us 5 minutes.
That's our start of
Honestly,
the day.
give us 3 minutes, and I'll see you guys out in the forecourt.
Yep. By the time you've grabbed your stuff, I'll be ready.
I'll be done.
Yeah.
I'll be done.
Don't you worry about that. I am very efficient.
And there's actually, like, there's quite a history. I didn't talk about this either, but this isn't unique. This happens a bit, and it's just it's a way that people can legitimately travel, maybe from a place that's in a bit of strife, like they were fleeing a civil war, basically. But yeah, obviously not the ideal system.
But they don't usually fake their way to it, do they? Like, often it's like you're at the Olympics, you are a high jumper.
Yes.
You are world class, and then you seek asylum when you're there.
Yes.
But they created an entire fake team, which is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, so good. And they scored 2 points against Germany, a real
Amazing.
team.
In their first ever match. It's been playing for, 2 weeks?
I can't wait to listen to all of this.
And then you hearing the recap.
yeah.
All right. So anyway, I thought I probably should read that out. So that brings us to everyone's favourite section of the show, actually. AJ, thanks so much for joining us for this.
Oh, no problem.
First up, we're going to give you some facts, quotes, and questions. Actually, AJ, I don't know if you know this, but this section actually has a jingle.
You're
Goes
kidding
something like
me.
this.
Fact, quote, or question.
For all the listeners, it's amazing in real life.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, he always remembers the ding. She always remembers the sing. So what have we got? In this section of the show, if you're on our Patreon at patreon.com/togoonpod, linked in the show notes, you can sign up on a bunch of different levels. What are some of the things you can get involved in there, Dave?
We are doing 4 bonus episodes per month. There's about 250 in the back catalogue also to unlock instantly. We've got a new Dungeons & Dragons campaign coming out at the end of January. We do bonus reports. We do quizzes. We do updates on our tours, that kind of stuff. You also hear about the tours for anyone else, get discounted tickets, get to be in the Facebook group, which is a really lovely place to be. And you also vote for topics. So you get to... Was this a voted for one?
This was a voted for one
Love it.
by people on the Sydney Schomburg level, which is also the level where you can give us a fact, quote, or question. So that is one of the... It's pretty much the highest level, I think.
Yeah, so it's a top tier, and that means that there's less people at that level, so your vote goes really far.
Yes.
Sometimes it is... We are literally refreshing the graph of the vote because there'll be 3 topics and they'll all be tied.
Yep.
In this case, that wasn't the case.
Okay.
It's won in a landslide. About 60% of the vote in a
Whoa.
3-horse race.
Wow.
Yeah, but so fact, quote, or question section. I'm going to read out 4 here. You can give us a fact, quote, or question, whatever you want, brag, or a suggestion. People do all sorts of things.
Yep.
By the way, AJ, it's Christmas Day for people listening live. If you want to say anything to them.
Oh, well, Merry Christmas to
Oh my
everyone.
God, that's not a
Well,
bad
that's
one.
really nice
I
of
made
you.
that up myself. Came up with that just now.
That's actually really nice.
That is really sweet. That actually means a lot.
Oh, well, you're so welcome.
So, yeah, people who give us facts, quotes, and questions also get to give us or give themselves a title. I'm going to read out 4 right now. I'm reading them out for the first time. AJ, can you Can you verify that?
Confirmed, yes.
Yeah.
I can see them in front of them for the first time.
Oh, you can see them from 3Ks away, I think, with the font size.
Yeah, by the way, I was just talking before we started recording. For all those who have ever wondered, the text size on the spreadsheet is huge.
Yeah.
Size 14.
My God.
Can you believe it?
I can't.
You would... Can I show you what my report font size is?
Please.
18.
But what are you zoomed in on? What's the zoom on, though? Because that changes it too.
100%.
Oh, only 100. Yeah, nice.
Right, but you do have a very large laptop as well. You got the biggest screen MacBook, right?
Yeah.
And if you look at mine, which is just in front of us, it's so small that it inhibits my work quite regularly.
It is interesting how some things are made fun of, like your eyes not working as well, whereas other things aren't, and I won't mention them. But you both have a few, so
I've got everything working at 100%.
Yeah.
At all times.
I never make fun of your esophagus.
Oh, you trying to eat a steak, are you?
Good luck.
Good luck getting
Sorry,
that
can we
down.
get this
Look
steak
how little-
blended, please?
Look how little he has to cut up his steak.
Everyone, gather around. Look at this freak. Look. Yeah, teach you to make fun of my laptop. I will ruin you.
So the first one this week comes from Katie Mae Westgate. The first. I don't know
Whoa.
if it's a typo. It's just there's a floating eye there afterwards.
Wow, it's an honour.
And Katie's got the title of Group Monster in brackets according to Matt. I don't remember saying that,
Wow.
but I do mean it. And Katie has a gratitude.
Oh.
Is this the first time I've had a gratitude?
Yeah, I don't think we've had gratitudes
We'll
before.
take
That's
it.
nice.
Writing, I just want to say thank you to everyone I met in Clapham and Balham after the live shows. Especially thank you to Dave from Suffolk, who look... How much time do you need to feel like there wasn't... I didn't leave a gap there. You were like...
Yes, that's my name.
Like that
Suffolk.
less than half a
She's
second.
made a
you're like,
mistake. She's made a mistake. I don't live in Suffolk.
Yeah.
I've never been to Suffolk.
Sorry, please continue.
Especially want to thank Dave from Suffolk who looked after me and helped me cope with my social anxieties. Everyone was so lovely and friendly, apart from Matt, who called me a monster and forgot where I was from, even though I told him the night before and we had a conversation about the River Trent. Okay. Oh my God.
This is the
your
best way.
gratitude message?
This is the best way to let people know that they've hurt your feelings.
It's gratitude to David from Suffolk.
Yeah, Dave from Suffolk was really nice. Unlike Matt.
Okay, so maybe Matt was lovely too. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
He didn't have to come and have a few drinks with us, so good on him for that. Hope you managed to get to the end of the third Kingsman film.
We did not.
And hopefully it won't be too long till you come back to the UK. Yes, I'm already messaging Giles occasionally going, man, what do you reckon we organise another tour? What do you think?
Really? I'm messaging Giles too and just saying, where's my money? So, it's interesting. Different dynamics.
Pay up, you dog.
He's done a runner. Have you done a runner, Giles?
Oh, he's got to Germany to play handball.
He said he'll pay us once he's back from Germany playing handball.
Thank you so much, Katie Mae Westgate the first. Okay, monster. I don't know. The context there. I'm sure I was being very funny.
I think you're being very funny, very charming.
Yeah. It doesn't come off that way in text.
No, because it's just tone. I think Katie probably wrote that in a really charming way.
Yeah.
Read it with a smile. That's what I do to make myself
wanna go
feel
back to
better
the start?
about frosty messages from people.
Oh, that's
Let me
nice.
just read one of everyone was so lovely and friendly, apart from Matt, who called me a monster and forgot where I was from, even though I told him the night before, and we had a conversation about the River Trent.
No, that's better.
I think that
that's
worked.
better. That is
Yeah.
nicer.
Yep.
To me, that sounded like isn't it more brutal when they're trying to hide it?
It's filled with love and adoration, I think.
Well, I want to say thank you, Katie Mae, the Monster Westgate. Next one comes from Murray Somerville, our very own.
Just leave it. Pause for the edit there.
Do you need me to take a note on this?
No, I will remember by the sound of Jess blowing her nose, I think.
Don't worry, I think that was so subtle.
See, this is a perfect example of now this has made it into the episode.
It was supposed to be subtle, but then I made eye contact with AJ and then I was laughing while blowing my nose.
It went for about 8 minutes.
I'm sorry. It was that or I was just going to sniff for the next 20 minutes.
The next one comes from Murray Somerville, who designed our poster, designed the Who Knew It
Murray.
with Matt Stewart.
Oh, wow.
What do you call it?
Logo?
Thank you.
Fantastic artist, Murray.
So
Love
great.
his work. Dave, did you know this? He flew down for our taping.
No.
Oh my god.
No, Murray, we're so sorry.
So sorry, Murray.
The taping that got postponed.
There was also someone who came from Perth.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
Those both Murray and I'm forgetting your name just right now. Get in contact when because I imagine it's hard for you to come over again. When we're next in Brisbane and Perth, we will give you free tickets to our shows.
Yes, of course.
To make up for. So sorry about that. So Matt and I were meant to do our taping at the start of December a couple of weeks back, but the whole crew got COVID. There was no one left to film it. So
Yes.
we have had to postpone it. Looks like we're going to go for Friday, January 17. Hopefully that's been announced properly by now.
Yeah, great. Yeah, the patrons will be the first to know. They would already know anyway.
But yeah,
Murray and our Perth friend should be the very first to know.
yeah. So sorry about that, everyone. Yeah,
And
it was
they-
on the day too. On the morning we woke up
Yes.
and be like, sorry guys, we can't
Yeah,
film it.
you heard about it for me. I woke up to a bit of a chain of messages.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
that waking up with that nervous excitement,
Yeah.
turning to that kind of such a weird feeling.
Whenever I've got something on the books, until it happens, I am riddled with anxiety about it getting cancelled. I expect it.
Yeah.
Often
Yes.
I love a cancellation, but not in this case.
Yeah, that's usually
depends
like,
what it is.
Yeah.
Depends
I'd
what
love
it
a
is.
night off, but you're like, no, we've been practicing and relearning our shows. We're ready to go.
Quite like to move on
Get
from
it
it.
done.
Just get it done. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right. Before Christmas and
Yeah.
Now, another month of trying to hold on to it.
trying to remember it
Going
all.
to try and turn it into a silver lining. There's a few people who've said that they weren't able to make that date, and they'll be able to make the next one hopefully. So maybe
Yep.
that's a silver lining.
But yes, we apologise to anyone who was travelling for it. Sorry, including Murray.
But there is a spot on Dave's floor for you, Murray, if you come back, just to save on ACOM.
Yeah, it's always available for you, Murray.
So Murray has given himself the title of Doofus. Okay.
Hell yeah. Been there, brother.
And Murray's got a question writing, there's a house up on the road. I'll say that again. There's a house up the road. What was my... Gertie says cut that out, AJ.
So yeah, already it's now content. We've already done it.
We have to leave that in now.
Yeah.
It did not even remain useful for one
No.
episode. There's a house up the road from me that makes my skin crawl every time I'm walking past it with my hounds. Oh, I've never heard anyone call their dogs
The hounds.
hounds.
Take the hound out.
That's sick. Release the hoons. Their yard, and now the footpath, is a field of cobbler's pegs. Yes, cobbler's pegs. Those tiny terrors of the plant world. I've never heard of cobbler's
No.
pegs.
I have to look them up too.
I'm Googling.
One look at those spiky little seeds and my skin starts crawling as if they're already sticking to me and my greyhounds. I'm going to look them up as well because I wonder if I just don't know the name for them. But
It's like a flower, like a...
cobbler's.
It's called blackjack when I Googled it.
Ooh.
Maybe it's the spiky
they're
part.
They're quite pretty, the flowers.
What is it, the spiky bit that gets stuck on you, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, mate. I wonder if they're just more of a Queenslander thing. Yeah, I
feel like they're
recognise
probably
them.
the ones that my... 'cause every time I go walking with a group of friends, we walk our dogs together. One of my friends is always like, look out for that one. So maybe that's what she's talking about. She calls it devil weed, but... Because it is a weed.
Gone to wikipedia.org. Other names include hitchhikers, blackjack, beggar ticks, farmer's friends, and Spanish needle. Cobbler's pegs, they're all good, but cobbler's pegs.
Why use all these fantastic names on the same plant? Spread them out, I reckon.
Yeah, agreed.
You know?
There's a whole page dedicated to it on the Brisbane City Council website.
Okay.
So they're obviously
So
a big pest
it's a
up
pest.
there. Anyway, back to Murray's writing here. I I can imagine the feel of them clinging to my socks and my legs and somehow getting into places they have no right to be. Just looking at cobbler's pegs gives me the major icks. What's your version of cobbler's pegs? What really makes your skin crawl? I'd love to hear it. Mostly so I know I'm not overreacting to my botanical nemesis. That could be another name for one of our songs, Dave.
Botanical nemesis.
Yeah, I think
like
that's a
that.
great song title for Sex Martyr.
Yeah, I didn't want to be in the band.
That's perfect.
Well, that's worked out really well.
I mean, you definitely could be if you want to be.
No, that's
You're just
okay.
not a lyricist.
Lyrics have never been my strong point.
Me and Dave, we had a chat trying to come up with Nick Cave-ish lyrics a while ago. So I've just I've gone, now we've got a band name.
Yep. Now, so what makes your skin crawl? I was going to say this is Mario answer his own question. Yep.
Yeah.
Cobbler's peg.
Absolutely.
I've developed an aversion to nail files.
Yeah.
The sound of other people doing it, the feeling of it, even looking at them now, I go, oh. Yeah, that's pretty recent.
I've got I don't know if I've talked about this before, I've got a weird-ish thing where, like the metal sticks that hang things on at supermarkets or shops or whatever, I feel like they're piercing through my eyes.
Yep.
Looking at them, do you feel that?
Yeah, because working in retail, you had to, if they didn't have anything on them, you had to take them off or put something on them.
Oh, sorry, just in case people at home don't get it as well, I don't think I get.
Like a hook. Like for me, it was clothing. So like the hooks that the metal rods that clothes would hang on, or there's really small ones for small items.
Like chewing gum or anything. They sort of just come out.
But you're worried about.
I'm not worried about it. I just feel the physical.
Oh, you think about it. Yeah.
I can feel it, so I can't even look at them. It doesn't always happen, but then sometimes it will, and I can't.
Especially if you get close to them. Yep.
Wow,
I agree with that. And in shops, I'm like, oh, you got to take that off or put something on it, because that's a hazard. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a bit gross. Don't like that.
And any sort of bodily fluid talk while I'm trying to eat, I can't take it out of my head.
Yeah, right.
Which you two have both found out accidentally while doing it, that I'm like, oh, well,
I'm not
that
eating.
bagel's done.
We love to talk about piss.
Yeah, he just gets too horny and has to put the food down.
Exactly.
Especially when it's a bagel.
Too horny.
Bagels,
That's
party
pretty
stuff.
good.
AJ, just anything come to mind for you?
I think all my answers to this are digital, which is because
Fingers.
I don't go out very often. At the moment, the thing that's pissed me off the most recently, or made me like inconsolably like angry, is whenever like the IRD contact me, and I'm not just being like, I don't like doing my taxes, right?
Okay.
It's like they'll be like,
That's like the New Zealand ATO.
yes, sorry, yeah, the New Zealand Inland Revenue Department.
Oh,
So they'll
So you do a. Is there some sort of a wet revenue department as well?
I'm not sure, but I imagine so. But it'll be like, hey, you've got a secure mail, log in. And you go to log in and you click the link on the text and it doesn't take you anywhere. So you go to the website and there's no obvious way to go there.
Yeah,
and you
that
ring them
sucks.
up and you don't even get through to an answer phone message.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what they're asking me is to give them $900 to $5,000 for something I don't understand why I'm paying.
Yeah.
And they're making it so hard to do.
To take your money.
It's I will give you the money. Just why do you have to make me like debase myself to get to this point, you know? That's my answer.
Yeah, no.
I get you. Yeah, often
Who are
we'll
they again? Inland Revenue.
Yeah, Inland Revenue Department.
Oh, yeah. So because the American one's like IRA, right?
Yeah.
So they're Inland Revenue as well.
Wait, IRS.
IRS, yes,
IRA
yeah.
is the Irish Republican
Yeah, that's actually
very different.
movement. Yeah.
Anything come to mind, Jess?
Nah.
Being asked questions?
Yeah, being asked questions.
So whenever there's a question on
I
Fat
reckon
Quota
what-
Question, you're like,
What about feeling like? And I think everyone feels this a bit, but I reckon you like it. You really feel empathy for like if we're doing a merch thing after a show, and the staff, you can start feeling that they want to be gone.
Yeah.
I
fully shut
physically
down.
feel it. Yeah.
Yeah. My brain shuts down. People are talking to me and I'm staring over their shoulder. Just like the staff look bad at me.
Oh, because people are stacking up chairs or wiping down things and looking at you like turning the house lights on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't enjoy that.
feeling.
Don't enjoy it.
Yeah, that's such a funny, because we're also like feeling for the people who've been lining up as well. So you're like, we're screwing someone either way.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Murray. I'll be up in Brisbane early in the new year, so I'll keep my eyes peeled for these cobblers. What are they?
Cobblers pegs.
So, because I guess cobblers, they have these little nails, don't they, to like wedge things open or whatever. Is that the idea?
Maybe.
Thank you, Murray. The next one comes from Patrick J. Early, whose title is Millhouse.
Okay.
I wonder if everything's coming up. Everything's coming up early today. We'll find out. He's got a brag saying, "Oh, it's a brag. That's a good sign." Hey, gang. Just a quick little brag about the last couple of months. I recently got engaged. Actually, the day after meeting Matt and Dave at Who Knew It 100.
Oh, congratulations.
What was the more exciting moment for him, I wonder?
Big weekend.
Ooh, yeah, because I'm pretty sure now he was the big fella, wasn't he, from Ballarat?
Oh, great.
I think he even had a question on the 100th episode, so I think that probably tipped it over.
Do we inspire it, maybe?
Yeah. Because he doesn't say. He didn't say if he did the. I imagine his partner proposed to him after seeing him involved in a live podcast.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Got a lot of that down.
It's very sexy.
This guy is going to the stratosphere.
Yeah.
Gotta lock it down. I also recently started a new job, and I am loving it. And one of my songs got put in a bunch of Spotify radio playlists and was heard by like 10,000 new listeners around the world, which is friggin' mind-blowing
That's
for me.
awesome.
It's a good feeling.
Nice.
Basically, everything's coming up Millhouse.
Nice.
Thanks to you and the pod for soundtracking what has been some of the best few months of my life. Oh, that's sick. I love to hear that.
Congrats.
That's
love it all.
awesome.
Patrick J. Early. So good. And I think, Patrick, if you haven't, you gotta post that tune in the Facebook group. Finally this week, Adam Tripskinski. Ooh. Adam Tripsinski. Something like that. Sorry, Adam. And Adam's title is Mover, Shaker, and Producer.
Oh.
And under fact, quote, or question, brag or suggestion, or whatever you like, he's written stove.
Okay.
Correct.
It'd be so good if he's just asking us for stove recommendations. Doing a kitchen reno.
What's
what do
your
you
best
reckon?
stove?
Smeg?
Yeah, Smeg was the only... all I could think of was Smeg. And I was
Miele?
like, don't
Bosch?
say Smeg.
The Bosch door.
Westinghouse.
Doesn't feel like just Bosch do it. Anyway, don't know. I'll never own a kitchen.
Not with that attitude.
No way for me to know. You think I could own a kitchen, Dave? Get your head out of your ass.
I think you can make commercial level.
Yeah.
Everything would be too hot.
I think that might play into this a little bit because Adam writes, I've done it. I've finally done it. I've found a stove that heats up correctly for the Triptych Club. Not too hot, not too cold. Let me just plug it in to make sure everything will work correctly for the wonderful members. Oh, no. Oh, dear God. There's so much fire. It's spreading everywhere. Get the soup. No one's been eating. Wow, that escalated quickly. Well, I think I might take a break from looking for new products for the club. It's for the best, I believe. Anyway, let's just all forget this has happened and move on with our lives. It's no one's fault. Really? Okay, stop grilling me about it. I'm
Grill,
going to
that's
play
funny.
some air hockey. Ice air hockey, I hope. Adam, thank you so much.
Hey, appreciate the effort.
Heart is in the right place.
Absolutely right. Yeah.
Who's going
really,
to clean this up, though?
really appreciate the gesture.
Well, isn't that why you're here, AJ?
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of.
If you can't see, AJ's just putting on his gloves. And you can't see because we're not filming this bit. Thank you so much to Adam, Patrick, Murray, and Katie. The next thing we like to do, and I will say the last thing we like to do, because there's no Triptych Club members this week for the first time that I can remember in
In a
quite a
while,
while.
yeah.
Thank God, the whole place is on fire. So.
Yeah, it's actually a perfect time
To rebuild.
for a fire.
So,
We will rebuild.
I'm just being positive.
We must.
So we've, Jess, you normally come up with a bit of a game based on the topic in hand, and where we thank about 9 of our great Patreon supporters.
What sport they pretend to be good at.
Great.
Love it.
And should we be putting AJ to work here?
No.
Yeah. I'll just say yippee after everyone is done, and that'll be we move on to the next
Whether
one.
they're whether they're good or not,
regardless.
Okay.
Yeah. So no one will know if
no
they hate
judgment.
it. Yeah.
Or can you do? I'd prefer not to be empty, and you say yippee if you like it, or nope.
Okay.
If you don't,
I am a Kiwi though, so they will all be yippies because
Okay.
I'm afraid of conflict.
I've got some sports here in front of me. I'm ready to
Fantastic.
go.
Random sport generator.
well, maybe so. Me and Dave can read the names. We go toe to toe, and you can do the sports. Is that what you think about?
I'm
and
happy
then
to do that.
AJ's here for the yippies.
Or the nups?
Or the nut.
In theory, yeah.
So yeah, these people are on the shout out level or above.
I want to also say these are real sports. I've googled obscure sports.
Okay, great.
Okay. Cool.
Amazing.
Because some of them will sound like I've just said two words together, but they are. Somebody has done this. Just saying.
Somebody else has put those two words.
Correct.
Yeah.
Before me.
Yeah.
All right. So first up, I'd love to thank from London in Waft. I think that's the WFT. I don't know what that is. Probably Woffington or something.
Probably
Waffleton.
What a place.
It's where the waffle was invented.
I did the same thing you did, but it really tickled you.
You made it sound really funny. From London in in Great Britain, it's Simon Kinch.
Chess boxing.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Yippee!
God, the seal of
chess
approval.
boxing.
Yeah.
Picturing that there's boxing and then they've got to go do a move.
Based on the picture, it's a hybrid sport that combines two traditional disciplines, chess and boxing.
Okay.
You're kidding. Two combatants play alternating rounds of blitz chess and boxing until one wins by checkmate or knockout.
Bloody
That's
hell.
amazing.
That's pretty good.
I like that, but I do wish they found a way to do them at the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did
You know.
assume that maybe that was the case.
They take a
punch,
chance.
Porn.
Yeah.
Punch, porn.
Yeah.
That's my Friday night.
Yeah.
Americans don't. Remember we had it a while ago on a Phrase in the Bar episode. They don't think porn and porn sound the same.
Yeah. What comedy they're losing by being like
Oh.
fastidious about that. You know?
And I say America.
'cause
There's
they-
lots of different accents in America.
There's only American.
Probably accents that like actually say the letter R. So they'd say like porn
Porn. Yeah, I think that's right. Porn.
as opposed to
Totally.
pawn.
It's the same with
So that's different.
Yeah. No, of course. No, I'm not saying they're wrong.
I'm not saying
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
wrong. I was doing it for my own example because I was like, in what universe do they not sound the same? And then I just had to do the working out.
Yeah, we don't.
Porn.
We don't pronounce
Yeah.
nearly any words right.
No.
Yeah.
Which is funny when we get called out on occasionally, and you're like, "Yeah, but this isn't. Is this any different to all the other words we say
Yeah.
wrong?"
Yeah.
Like Dave got a bit of flack for saying, and we were saying it wrong, I guess, but two pack instead of two puck or something like that.
But that's just an accent thing.
Yeah,
Isn't
I
it?
think I'm like, yeah,
Tupac,
we say that a
Tupac.
bit wrong, but we sort of say
I
every
say
word.
everything wrong.
Yeah. I get it with wrath, WRATH. It's supposed to be like Roth, but for years I was saying Wrath because I have a New
yeah.
Zealand accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wrath, grass, bath.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And everyone's like, AJ, you freaking idiot.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
one says it that way.
No
Yeah.
one says it.
Yeah.
So good that you.
No one says it.
Says is what it should be as well.
Yeah.
But that sounds so funny. But
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is. That people do say says.
Also, in a Kiwi accent, beer the drink, beer the animal, and beer as a naked are like homophones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought they were homophones the world over. till I
Naked,
was a
naked,
teenager.
and animal are homophones for us.
Yeah,
Are
bear and bear. Yep.
But not beer.
Beer.
I'll drink a beer, look at a beer, and be beer
Yeah, it's the
All
same.
at the same time.
all at the same time.
What a, that's
sounds
the
like a
best
setup.
Friday night.
It's actually my new survival strategy for if you encounter a
I
beer.
was trying to do that, and I can't hardly get a word out.
I was trying to get it before Dave 100% had it. And I was like, and then you were a step behind as well. God, we are tedious.
I can feel the wheels in my brain spinning.
Yep.
The one that the Kiwis get me with is how you say woman as for women. I think you say woman and women both as woman.
So
Plural.
one woman, many woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you say women?
Woman.
Yeah, you said women then. So
Yeah.
but I saw
Yeah.
a
And
Kiwi
how hot a
stand-up.
woman, Dave,
Yeah,
as well.
how hot a
That's why
woman.
that's why we're talking
Now
about
I hear it.
Anyway, what are we? One down.
One down.
I would
Thanks.
like to thank from Derby in the greatest of Britons, Maddie James.
Maddie James is one of the best at extreme ironing.
Ooh, is it sort of downhill ironing? Is there a picture for this one?
Yeah, but it looks like somebody's on a rock. Hang on. It's
Oh,
an
I've seen
extreme
that.
sport in which people take ironing boards to remote locations and iron items of clothing.
Yippee!
That's
Maddie James, that's
sick.
sick.
Good on you, mate.
It doesn't have a middle initial, but I reckon it's X for
Yeah.
extreme.
For sure.
Agreed.
The coolest letter.
Our mate Elon Musk certainly thinks so.
Yeah.
he's like the richest man in the world. I'm changing its name to
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
I know that this is old news now, but every time I think about it, it does make me laugh. It feels like a child.
Well, because Elon Musk's whole thing is that he's what people thought was cool about 15 years ago, right? Like he stopped there and went, this will be cool forever.
Right.
And so everything he does is like 4chan humor, right?
Yeah.
Which I think thinking X is a cool enough letter to replace the word Twitter with is a perfect example of that.
Yeah, well, I mean, its brand recognition wasn't too good, Twitter.
No, exactly.
why-
Whereas a single letter will get you better SEO for sure.
100%.
I wish he just picked another letter like k.com or something. Just K it.
K it. Oh, yeah, that is better.
I think the ketamine community wouldn't like that though.
I'm in a K-hole.
Although I
That's what you
think
call a
X
thread.
is also probably several code words for drugs, right?
It's true. Anyway, I know a lot about 50% of our listeners love the work of Elon. And he's personally my favourite Elon.
Top 5 Elons for me.
Yeah, look, I wouldn't say favourite. He is in the top 5. Next up, I'd love to thank from Slacks Creek in Queensland. That sounds
Cool
fun.
name.
I'm picturing just a river of pants.
I reckon you'd get a horror movie called Slacks Creek.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know? That's a cool title.
Oh no, the Slacks Creek Killer's back.
Well, not if you say it like that.
Oh no, take my trousers. Go on, take them.
But he comes, he kills you, and he kills you while he's Winnie the Poohing it.
Yeah.
And then his
wears
calling
your-
card is he wears your pants away.
Yeah.
Some people will wear your skin. He
Yeah.
wears your pants.
Yeah, he's like Buffalo Bill, but for pants.
It puts the fabric softener on the pants.
From Slacks Creek, I'd love to thank Matt McGuigan. Wow, that is a good name. Have a go
Matt
at saying it.
McGuigan from Slacks Creek.
How
He's
good is
the
that?
main character of
Matt-
the Slacks Creek movie.
And people would go, Matt McGuigan is such a ridiculous made-up name.
Yeah.
And as is the sport of underwater hockey.
Wow. Dangerous
Underwater.
stuff.
Yeah, this is sort of
Could
like
you do it in the creek? The titular creek?
imagine doing it like you could have 2 games going on at once.
Yeah.
Ice, like underwater.
Yeah.
Yes, under the
and
ice.
then you have the
top of
ice and playing on top of the ice.
I definitely would
and then
rather
real hockey on grass above that somehow.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's
Hockey
good stuff.
sandwich.
The real hockey. I'm winking at
Does that
our
get-
American and Canadian listeners.
The real hockey. Does that get a yippee?
Oh, sorry, yippee.
Thank you.
Well,
Oh,
I
he's
don't think
lost.
that
Yeah,
was
he's
in that
lost
one.
it, but that's okay.
I think reading between the lines, that was a nup.
I would like to thank from a location that is unknown to us. We can only assume they're deep within the Fortress of the Moles. Thank you to Kit, Papa Squat, Ryan.
The parents were having a bit of fun that
Thanks,
day in
kid.
the hospital, weren't they?
On your Kit.
Kit is one of the best at shin kicking.
Oh.
That's a recognised sport.
Yep.
shin kicking.
Shin. Ow. Ow, not the shin. Jesus.
Yep.
Yippee.
Yippee.
I gotta give it a yippee.
Do you think so?
Oh, I've got a really good one up
What's
next.
happened there? Kit Ryan's in the hospital. How's that become the middle name? Papa Squat, do you reckon?
Probably
I
the
think-
mother's maiden name.
Yeah, or
Oh,
they
yeah.
named him how he was conceived.
Pop on a squat.
Next up, from Florence in MA, probably Massachusetts, maybe the United States. It's R. Sullivan.
Sullivan. Bog snorkeling.
Oh,
Oh, hell yeah. Yippee.
Yeah.
I'd go bog snorkeling.
Yep.
but yeah,
Depends on the bog.
Yeah, is bog not universally shit? No,
No. It's like a
Bog-
swamp.
it's a swamp. Yeah.
Which is pretty close to.
So great. Like, you're not going to see anything. It's so pointless. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Apparently, there's been suggested a few times the topic bog bodies.
Oh my god, that's cool.
Yeah. Apparently they turn up a bit.
Do they?
So R. Sullivan from Florence, bog snorkeling.
Yep.
Or boggling, as they call it.
Boggling.
Oh, boggling's way better.
Yeah.
Boggling I'm into.
Not to be confused with boggle, the word game. Also recognised as a sport, probably.
Yeah.
Boggling.
Somewhere.
Oh,
Whoa.
hey, now.
That's tricky.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't see the letters to begin with.
Did they get a yippee?
I did.
Yeah,
early,
they
early on.
got an early
a
yippee.
pre-yippee.
Very
Pre-yippee.
happy with that, yeah.
I would like to thank now from a location that is also unknown to us, deep within the Fortress of the Moles. We can only assume Nadertot.
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 And when you're living deep underground in the Fortress of the Moles, one of the most popular sports is toe wrestling.
I'd have an
Yippee.
advantage there. As a long-toed man.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
You are one of the best in the biz.
But as a strong-toed man,
Oh,
I think I
okay.
could take you on.
Yeah,
we
well,
just have to interlock our toes together.
I've got
to
long,
begin.
weak toes. Oh my god. The next person is from. Any of you speak Swedish?
Yeah.
They're from
100%.
what
Probably.
looks like
How hard could it
Umeå in Sweden.
Oh, okay.
It's Joel Nordlander.
Joel Nordlander, obviously in Sweden, they're really big into belly flopping.
Oh, I'm good at that.
Yeah.
And as
They
they
used to-
say in Sweden, yippee, but it's spelled with a J.
Yeah.
pronouncenames.com. Umeå.
Umeå.
Yeah, pretty not bad.
Nice.
Yeah, backslapping. That was when our other kids do big bombs and stuff. Mm-hmm. I could never make a big splash, so I just did do the feats of self harm. So
Yeah.
I had to get a niche going.
yeah, so really redden my back whackers, belly flops.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're like, huh? Do you think I'm cool now?
and just like
I'm
slap.
red.
You get a great sound.
Yeah.
Just really flatten out, smack.
This makes sense for someone who would then later get into comedy as a career.
Yeah.
I think they're like, I will jump off a cliff into water for attention.
Yeah.
Yeah,
mentality. Totally.
Yeah.
I'll ruin my night for your entertainment.
Yeah.
Did that get a yippee?
It did. I think. Was that the Swedish one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yippee in a Swedish accent.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
that's right. With a
Yeah.
J.
Umeå in Sweden.
That sounded French.
Bringing things back to Australia from Inaloo in Western
Oh,
Australia.
that's where bogs belong.
Thank you to Amy Lindsay. Amy Lindsay from Inaloo.
Amy Lindsay, one of the best at unicycle hockey.
Oh.
Yippee,
Wow.
not for me though.
No.
I'd fall off the unicycle.
100, yeah,
Actually,
absolutely.
Yeah.
for me, that's real hockey for me. All the
Right,
others are
right,
imitation.
right. That's
Yeah. That's you can picture the people playing it though, can't you? They've got twirly mustaches.
Oh,
don't they?
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you say that? Was that a joke that you'd walk past a unicycler in Fitzroy?
Yeah. No, it was by the mighty Yarra.
Or you had actually.
I walked past. So on my first day in Melbourne, I was exploring, and in order to get to like a food court area, I walked along like the I don't know, the footpath next to the river, and on my way past two separate, I think they were sword swallowers or fire. Both were on unicycles, and both were like doing the same. Like, hey everybody! Like, same,
Yeah,
you know
same
the
shtick.
personality of
They were
buskers.
English?
No, they're Aussie.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think I've seen them in Christchurch, actually, so I think they come over for the Buskers Fest.
wow.
So, one of our great exports.
Buskers.
It is funny. I mean, there is a stereotype that Melbourne is like nonsense, whimsical, and which obviously it's not a city of 5 million people. There's all sorts of different shit, but
Whimsy is bound to bubble to the surface.
it is
in a
it is
city that big.
funny that I never see unicycles. It's so funny you saw them so quickly in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Jess is a unicycler, of course. I don't count her when I say I don't see unicycles.
Yeah.
Finally, from St. Lucia in Queensland, Australia, I'd love to thank Kirsten Woodward.
And Kirsten, actually one of the best at my favourite sport, wife carrying.
Yippee.
Yeah.
Well, Dave does a bit of that, conversation-wise.
What are you saying there?
I'm saying Ella, honestly, a bit dull on the old chat.
I'll answer her.
I'll take this one.
She's fine, thank you.
What do you mean by that? I'm like, it made sense in my head, but yeah, no, not really.
And you know, as well, in wife carrying, all the wives rolling their eyes as the husbands are carrying.
yeah.
Because behind every great wife carrier,
Yep. Yep.
there's literally the wife. Like,
Yeah. Going, come on. This
he
is
thinks
pathetic.
he's so cool.
Yeah, all right.
I said I'd do his little hobby. Dave didn't even understand what I was talking about there at all because Ella is such a great conversationalist.
Ella's way more interesting than Dave.
Yeah.
Oh, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Ella is carrying Dave. She's a husband carrier.
I love being carried.
Conversation-wise.
I love being carried. Physically as well. Makes me feel safe.
Yeah.
Scoop me up.
Yeah. Like a cat.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
But not like my dog, who just does this. If you carry
Yeah,
him.
put me down.
Jess is really, she's pushing her face back into her head, if that makes sense.
Yeah, he's a French bulldog, so
Yeah.
he has.
She did an impeccable French bulldog impression for us.
Yeah, a picture of French bulldog.
Visual only.
looking uncomfortable.
Thank you so much to Kirsten, Amy, Joel, Nada, Kit, Matt, Maddie, and Sinan. Because we don't have any Triptych Club this week. It's just for some reason 3 years ago, everyone who signed up, if anyone, has not made it.
Right,
They
no
didn't
one
have the
signed-
guts.
Cowards.
No one signed up on Christmas Day 3 years ago.
Oh, it's Christmas
How
Day. That would be why.
Well, if no one's going to get me a present that I want, I'll get it for myself.
That brings us to the end of the episode. Before we go, AJ, where can people find you?
Oh my goodness! People can find me online. My usual moniker at the moment is AJ and HD. You can find me on Instagram and X, and I technically on
You're
Blue
a
Sky.
Remainer on X.
Yeah, I am.
Still Xing.
Yeah, I shouldn't though. I should get off it.
No, I think I just last times I've been on there was sort of nothing going on.
Oh, and let me tell you, the right wing leaning humour of 2007 has come back full force these days.
Oh, great!
I feel like I'm on like Reddit when I was in
It's like
high
a
school.
a time machine.
Yeah, it's a little bit
What's
nostalgic if it wasn't so upsetting.
What's one of the classic cliche jokes?
Like you'll just see like a viral video and it's like a woman being filmed and she's angry. And the text will be like, check out this bitch, you know? And
That's pretty funny, though.
Exactly. It's that kind of humor.
That's a real thinker.
Yeah. It's stuff like that. We're back on that bullshit. This is Elon Musk's ex.
Well, we find the thing that Matt finds the funniest in the world. You gotta get back on there, mate. You'd love it.
No, I didn't realise. Although when I was on there, it was
the
sort of
feminist
tumbleweeds, but
of the pod is needed on X right now, dude.
that sounds really funny.
I have a podcast called Cold Popture as well. If
It's
people
a
want to listen to
thinker.
it.
Cop Popture.
Yes.
We've all been on it.
You've all been on.
Fantastic
Yes.
time.
Talk about movies.
Yep.
The only podcast in the world to ever do that.
Yeah, so good that you've finally broken through. Broken that taboo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jess, anything we need to tell people before we go?
Just that we love them. They can suggest a topic. There is a link in our show notes. It's also on our website, which is dogoonpod.com, where you can find information about live shows. Dave's got his calendar open. Is there something you wanted to
Just
plug,
thinking,
Dave?
this is the last episode of the year, everyone.
Oh, yeah.
But fear not, because we will be back on January 1st next year.
Oh my God.
It
We're
never
not taking a week
sleeps.
off.
What a great present for Christmas. AJ here, unwrapped. He's not wearing any pants, is what I mean. That's in the English or Australian sense. But yeah, I can't wait to see you next year. Hope,
See you next year.
I think, and we said at the end of 2019, I think we can say it again here, next year is going to be one of the great years.
Yeah. Yeah.
It has to be.
It has to be. I believe it.
Yeah, everything's going to get better.
Yeah.
It's looking good. The forecast is
Looking
bright.
really nice.
Sunshine, blue skies as far as the eye can see.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, AJ.
All good. Thank you for having me.
And until next year, we'll say thank you so much for listening and goodbye.
Later.
Bye.
To make switching to the new Boost Mobile risk-free, we're offering a 30-day money-back guarantee.
So why wouldn't you switch from Verizon or T-Mobile?
Because you have nothing to lose. Boost Mobile is offering a 30-day money-back guarantee.
No, I asked why wouldn't you switch from Verizon or T-Mobile?
Oh.
Wouldn't.
Because you love wasting money as a way to punish yourself because your mother never showed you enough love as a child?
Whoa. Easy there.
Yeah.
Applies to online activations. Requires port in and auto pay. Customers activating in stores may be charged non-refundable activation fees.
Saucony owns the streets at dawn. Saucony keeps the pace with run crews. Saucony also moves through music festivals and strolls to neighborhood coffee shops. But Saucony is not just about where you go. It's also about who you're with, bringing you closer and connecting you to those who move like you do. Saucony, the original running brand built on heritage and innovation. Shop your local run and lifestyle retailer or at Saucony.com.
Don't forget to sign up to our tour mailing list so we know where in the world you are and we can come and tell you when we're coming there.
Wherever we go, we always hear 6 months later, oh, you should come to Manchester. We were just in Manchester.
We were just there, but this way you'll never miss out. And don't forget to sign up, go to our Instagram, click our link tree. Very, very easy.
It means we know to come to you, and you'll also know that we're coming to you.
Yeah, we'll come to you, you come to us. Very good.
And we give you a spam-free guarantee.